from UBC Studios in Kampala. This is Good Morning Uganda Extra.
Soon we'll say bye-bye to the month of July, but we want to thank you for having been with us from when this year started. Our ardent viewers of this morning show, thank you so much. I'm Robert Chirabonyonyitono, in case you've just joined us, and this is Good Morning Uganda Extra, an extension of Good Morning Uganda. Now, one very important thing, please make it a date every weekday with us. We begin at 6:30, exactly 6:30. Our morning show kicks off, and guess what happens there? Well, there's so much informative yet mind-relaxing conversations, some bit of laughters here and there, yet we set the pace of the day, because when you begin your day with us, it's not all about brightening up your morning, but you're well informed of what is happening, and you can fit in any discussion and be relevant, because you're empowered with information in the morning. So make it a date tomorrow. Well, so much is happening in this country, and just a quick one for our brothers and sisters that is in Hoima, a Ministry of Public Service is opening up. That will be tomorrow, a one-stop service center for you. So Hoima, the Service Uganda Center, is going to be opened. Remember, this is one-stop center you can move into, enter and get to know of all government entities and what they do. When you move in these service centers opened by Government of Uganda through public service, you get all information of any government entity, any government ministry, what they do, how they can be of relevant use to you. So people of Hoima, the day is tomorrow when this will be opened up. I'm having a guest with me this morning, and we are going to be discussing something very critical and very important, and that is flight handling. Many refer to call it freight forwarding. And what does this mean? These people deal in moving cargo. Uganda is a country that does a lot of importation. We import so much as a country. Of course, day by day, exports are also improving. But there are companies, people who are working day and night, because cargo is a day and night thing, to see that we have successful importation and successful exportation. Now, joining me on set is Dr. Marian Sebunya, who happens to be a member of the advisory board of the Uganda Flight Forwarders Association, and also a goodwill ambassador of a conference that they're going to be having here in Uganda at Speak Resort Munyonyo. Doctor, you're most welcome.
Thank you.
Doctor, just for the benefit of my viewers, when we talk about flight forwarding, this may be common for you in this business, but I don't want to leave anybody behind. So what are we talking about? What is entailed in flight forwarding?
I'm pleased to have this opportunity actually to explain what freight forwarding does. Yes, we do flight as well, but freight forwarding entails all sorts of, all modes of transport and planning, and in short, in our industry, we call it freight logistics, or logistics and transport. And what it means is it's a chain. We service the supply chain and ensure that the supply chain is smooth, efficient, and cost-effective for people to be profitable, for economies to be profitable and to grow. So what we do is we plan for cargo. For example, if you are importing your cargo from China, we plan how to bring it. We get it from the manufacturers who are manufacturing. we put it on transport by either rail or road to go to the seaports. If cargo is coming to Uganda, we go to the seaport, we load it on the ships, we ship it, the ship sails, we get it to our ports, to the importing countries, and we take it off the ship, we either load it onto the trucks or store it until we are able to get trucks and load it to its final destination. So it's dealing with freight or cargo from the end to end, from the manufacturer to the end user. Because even when it gets here, say it's raw material, it goes to manufacturers, and even when manufacturers have finished manufacturing, we transport it for them to the consumers, to the market. And then even when the consumers buy, we still transport for the consumer. So transport and logistics. The logistics part is about planning. Then there is the handling part, like putting on ship, removing, putting. Then there is transport, which is the movement from one end to the other. So that's the supply chain or the freight logistics chain.
Very interesting and of course very relevant. Otherwise we wouldn't have a number of things that we use day to day if we didn't have this major role. Now when we talk about the Flight Forwarders Association, this is private sector,
yes,
to be very honest. So what does this association do, and why, if important, would one be a member? Because you have so many people in transport. People have companies, they do this, others individually. You have their number and you can just call them. The man owns 3-4 trucks and they can do this for you.
Yes, being a Goodwill Ambassador of East African Business Council, I'll talk about associations in general first, not before I talk about the Freight Forwarders Association. The associations are those companies that do similar things that come together to advocate or lobby for a conducive work environment, conducive or enabling policies, and so we come together, we associate, speak with one voice in order to be heard. Because if each company was speaking on its own, then I guess we would confuse the governments that we are lobbying to get an enabling environment, because some may do it for selfish reasons. I may advocate for what suits my company and not it, which may hurt another company. But when we come together and work together as associations, we speak with one voice from each industry or each sector of the business in order to be heard, and not to be heard well, so that we don't confuse governments, and we then advocate for an enabling environment for our businesses. So that's the reason we associate. Now, when it comes to Freight Forwarders Association, Uganda Freight Forwarders Association in particular, in which I'm on the advisory board, having served as chairman for many years, and left and gone to serve as chairman at East African level, but I remain with the association on the advisory board. So this one is not different from any other association, but ours, I would say, is a sector that impacts on every sector and every business, like I've explained the whole chain. So you see that what is important is that our efficiency creates the profit, the profitability for the other players like manufacturers, like traders. And if we are not efficient and the supply chain is not smooth, then every minute costs money in this business. In the business world, every minute matters. So if you save time, you save money by getting there fast and getting turnaround or turnover becomes high. When it's high, that's when you are profitable. If it's low, then you lose. So that's our role as the freight forwarders. Yeah.
Well, now away from the association and well knowing what flight forwarders do in the cargo movement, which is a revelation I've just had, it is end to end. They start and they close this entire supply chain. Now, we know that the Flight Forwarders Association or the Federation of Flight Forwarders Association and the Regional of Africa and Middle East, you're organizing a conference that is going to run from the 1st to the 3rd. Now, we are eager to understand why this conference at such a time. One would think we came from COVID. There could be a bit of side effects. Resilience is one of the issues many bodies are fighting with to see how they can move after COVID. Why this conference and now?
Yes, this conference actually is normally every year it takes place in a different country. And I congratulate Uganda Freight Forwarders Association for being able to host it, because it's competed for. It's a coveted thing to do, to host the Region Africa and Middle East Conference, which is a part of the global apex body for freight forwarders, the International Freight Forwarders Federation of International Associations. So this is our apex body, and it organizes the RAME conference, Region Africa and Middle East, in conjunction with whichever country applies and bids. Actually, we bid to host, and you are accepted. So we are working together with the International Freight Forwarders Federation to at this particular time, like you say, we are looking for solutions. We are looking for ways of being proactive and being innovative. So when we come together at African Middle East level, although actually the international freight forwarders community all over the world comes to, we are looking at how we create a resilient supply chain, what were the challenges. And for us in Uganda, we are lucky that we are hosting this after COVID. We know the challenges that we had, and it's at everybody's, it's on everybody's mind to see how to overcome this. So this conference will bring together experts from the whole world, including practitioners, academicians, and actually what I didn't add in the supply chain, there is customs. The customs administrations and the customs agents are part of the supply chain or part of the freight logistics. So we will come together to explore ways of creating a resilient supply chain, a resilient freight forwarder, freight logistics chain, and Yeah, we are happy and lucky because I've seen the list of speakers, and they are world-renowned experts in this business and practice.
Okay.
Yes.
So one interesting thing is that it was competitive, and this time Uganda, we get to host this very important conference in our country. But when we talk about regional basis, let's look at how is this industry performing for Uganda's case?
I think you know that this freight logistics business is new in East Africa, relatively new. We know that it got privatized, or private sector was allowed to play into it in the 80s or 70s. But before that, I think you were not born, there was a government country called Transocean, and it was the one that used to handle all cargo coming to Uganda until the government liberalized the service, and we came into play. So how we are performing, I would say that we are almost there, because for example, when I joined this business, I was told, what are you doing in that business? It's a business for thieves, it's a business for dishonest people, it's a business. And I was wondering what made it that, and rather than quit, I decided to stay and cleanse the image, because I asked my seniors in the business who were there before me why it was called that, and they told me why, and I said, so it's a business I should not be in, I should quit. And they told me, no, supposing you take it as a challenge and cleanse the image. And together we came out to cleanse the image. So today where we are as Uganda, I think we are doing very well, but normally we talk as region, East Africa. We are doing very well because we came from being looked down upon. We got to be accepted. We worked through the years, and we started in about the year 2000. We were accepted. We also lobbied or advocated to be. We came from being accepted. We moved to being recognized, to where we have a voice. We have a voice to tell government how to do things better, how we discuss policies together, and we moved to, from now being recognized, we wanted to be trusted, so that we are no longer called dishonest.
Oh, many people will tell you agents, flight, logistics.
No, we moved.
You're sending for
there.
this. We hope it reaches. So many people in business actually, and so I'd rather purchase something here than relying on agents or a flight forwarding company or flight and logistics to deliver it here. But then someone tells, no, it's cheaper. When you purchase, you do your transportation, then it's cheaper. Say, those people.
But I think that's some time back.
And a number, by then, I don't know now, a number of them were not insured. So in case there is anything along the way with your cargo, you get pictures and evidence that this happened. So it was bad luck on your side.
Yes, that's where I'm coming to. So we moved, now we are at where we are trusted. And why are we trusted? Because we've chosen to professionalize our practice together with East African community and all the customs administrations and all the ministries of transport in East Africa. We got together, we formulated the curriculum, We trained, up to date we train, we certify, and we register. So there is no room for bad practice like in the past. So we have reached that level of being trusted and trusted partners. For example, we signed a memorandum of understanding with the Ministry of Transport, Ministry of Trade, with Uganda Revenue Authority, talking about Uganda, but we did it at East African level. When I was president of the Federation of East African Freight Forwarders, we signed an MOU. We negotiated and signed an MOU with the Secretary General of East African Community. When we sign, we commit to work together, formulate policies together, monitor implementation of those policies and regulations. We had our input in the East African Customs Management Act, and every year we are called upon to bring reviews if we think there is something that must change. So today we are trusted partners of the public sector in Uganda and at East Africa level. And going to the now region Africa, the whole of Africa and the Middle East, we are going the same way. However, I would like to tell you that Uganda has been a champion in East Africa, and East Africa has been a champion for other trading blocs in East Africa together with East African community, and we are sharing experiences. We are sharing best practice, and we are looked at as best practice in Africa and Middle East, and so we are at that stage. We have at East African level, when we signed with the East African community, the practice of freight forwarders was allowed to self-regulate, like at East African level, self-regulate, like the lawyers, like the medical personnel or doctors, like the accountants, and so far in East Africa, I think 3 countries, Rwanda, Kenya, and Tanzania or Zanzibar, has already made law, turned it into law. We have a model bill from East African community that is being turned into law, it was sent by the Council of Ministers to each state, partner state, to customize it to their own country and turn it into law. Ours is in the process. It's being spearheaded by the Ministry of Works and Transport and the Ministry of Trade, with whom we are still negotiating that MOU of working together, because we facilitate trade. So we don't want to leave the Ministry of Trade out. Behind.
Yes. Well, it's been a journey of success, I must say, right from what you've said, and now I see why this business is also growing in Uganda. When there's sanity and self-regulation makes things better, because someone who is doing things the other way, well, can easily be eliminated, ejected out of this community. Now, going back to the conference, our viewers will be hosting, that is in Uganda, a conference for the Federation of the Flight Forwarders Association, that is Uganda, and also the regional of Africa and Middle East. And this will be from the 1st to the 3rd at Speak Resort Munyonyo, isn't it? Yeah, venues sometimes organizers change them, so you must be very sure it is still the same venue. Now, who are the people you expect? Who are the participants? I don't own any company. I've enjoyed the discussion. Am I at liberty to wake up and be part of this conference?
Yes, like I said, it was an opportunity for me to have this discussion, to bring out the importance of transport and logistics to everybody who is listening, but also to governments to recognize that it's actually the backbone of any economy. Can you imagine a day that we would wake up and we say, let's say now we are regulating and we say anything transport, tools down, don't move.
Oh, just truck drivers do that, and
including your legs, because it's a mode of transport. So would there be any work? No, there wouldn't be any work. So since this business, our practice impacts on every sector of the economy, or every company, even every individual, because it's about transport, it's about planning transport, it's about logistics, any mode of transport, air, sea, lake, train, whatever, it's transport. And it's used to get you what you need to do your business, every business. So this conference is open to everybody who would like to bring a challenge to be discussed by experts and solutions found with your involvement, because what we go to do, we go to discuss the resilience, like we said, the efficiency, and the cost effectiveness of business, because if the businesses do not survive, then we have no clients. So we must make sure every business survives for us to get business. So this conference is open to everybody who would like to bring a challenge or to be part of a solution to trade facilitation, to supply chain, to transport and logistics, to even academicians. We have several academicians. I think MOBS is participating at large scale, because you hear the academics, then you hear from us, the practitioners, and then our clients. We can't leave them behind. So this conference is open to everybody, and I think today should be the last day of registration. Anybody who can get online, it's Rame, Theatre Rame Conference, I think, .com. You can
or you
go
can
online.
go to, that is Rame2023.com.
Yes, then you can register online, or find Uganda Freight Forwarders Association Secretariat in Kamocha, and you register today. We would be happy to.
Let me go for a very short break. When I return, we'll still be discussing more regarding that is flight forwarding and logistics business in Uganda, Africa, and the Middle East. We'll return.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda Extra.
In 2005, Harris International was formed. Your Excellency, this is how we do things at Harris.
I once again congratulate you upon the commissioning of a new production plant and wish you success in all your future endeavors. I thank you all.
Amaina gange ninze tusuubira lyaga Margaret. Ndi Munawanyago Tailors Association Sako ey'emyoga. Tuli batunzi ba byalaani. So faife nga Nawanyago Sacco twafunako emiliyoni 8 era bagiire nga badiiza mpola mpola ate nga bwe bongera n'okusavingaku era akasente ako katuyambyeku katutoolaku wetwali katwongeraku eidaala okusobola okweyamba n'okwesitula mu maka gaife n'okulabirira famire daife. Era tutwala omukisa guno okwebaza gavumenti yaife eya Muzeeyi Museveni Yoweri Kaguta Tibuhaburwa olw'okutuyamba ife abantu abawansi.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda Extra.
Welcome back from that short break. Thank you for being with us on UBC TV. It is Good Morning Uganda Extra, and we are looking at flight forwarding in Uganda, East Africa, Africa, and the Middle East. And of course, discussing an upcoming conference that will be running from the 1st to the 3rd of next month. Remember, today, like I earlier said, the month is ending, so it's not anywhere far. And of course, this will be running at the Speaker Resort Munyonyo, and it's bringing together people in the flight forwarding business from Uganda, East Africa, Africa, and the Middle East. Now, Doctor, what are the expected outcomes? You said this is not the first. It's been on rotational basis, competitive to be hosted. So what are you aiming at achieving?
We aim at achieving every year, but more so after COVID, discussions on the challenges that have persisted so far after COVID, and finding solutions for them, like I said, with experts from the whole world and from within the region, Africa and Middle East, and more so at the global level, because it has become a village now, and like I said, we are professionalizing our industry in East Africa. We've started doing the entire chain. That chain of freight logistics can be broken into sectors, and like I said, there is customs, there is transport, there is handling, but now we are acquiring more than one in Uganda because of our professionalizing, and people are beginning to do multimodal transport. We are doing handling as well, from the export ports to the import ports to the inland countries. So we are looking at getting solutions to challenges, especially that came from COVID, but also looking into the future, sharing experiences, especially in technology, how we can do it better. We have all these sectors coming in with experts to share best practice. So we shall have, what we intend to achieve is an efficient supply chain, a resilient supply chain, a cost-effective supply chain, and we are really looking forward because we have very good registered participants in expertise of different sectors of the freight forwarding.
So much expectations, and we just hope they are achievable. Finally, before I have your concluding remarks, what are some of those pressing issues affecting this sector that you feel in any way government's involvement is necessary and they can be of help in case they intervene?
Like I said before, we advocate. So how governments can come in my first request would be, or my wish, on my wish list, the first one would be private sector involvement with government. World over. It's very, very important.
Yes.
Governments don't do business. Therefore, governments don't understand business. Therefore, they need to listen. And we are making it easy for them by speaking with one voice, by federating, by associating, so that we speak with one voice and we are heard. So my priority on the wish list would be encouraging governments to engage in public-private dialogue. Dialogue at every point, at policy formulation point, at monitoring together the implementation of the agreed policies. And so it's collaborative, and public-private dialogue should be encouraged everywhere in the world for businesses to get what they want to thrive, and for governments to be able to grow the economies and collect more revenue. So that would be my...
Well, I have to let you go. Let me just have your parting shot. As we wind up, Doctor.
Okay. My parting point at this today is I would encourage, and I'm inviting everybody who is in business, who is in trade, who is in manufacturing, who is in agriculture, all sectors of the business, especially the private sector. The government we are requesting, but for the private sector, this is very important for you to attend. Please come and listen to as we find solutions to your problems, because we are finding solutions to your problems to be profitable. But if you are not there to give us insights, we might not get to the root cause of your challenges. So I wish everybody could attend who is in serious business, so that we work together the solutions and the future of our trade. I thank you.
Well, thank you so much,
again.
Dr. Mariana Sebunya, for your time, and of course for that information. For more information regarding this conference, please go to rame2023.com. That is RAME2023. Wishing you a lovely day. Let's all be law-abiding. For the people of Hoima, don't forget tomorrow, Ministry of Public Service will be launching the Service Uganda Center, a one-stop center for you to go in and get to know any information regarding government entities, government ministries, and how best they can be of help to you. See you tomorrow. The lovely Lord hoping and wishing. God bless you. For God and my country.